Hi you guys. So today I thought that while I was weeding out our succulent table, I would take an opportunity to show you guys how to take care of your leggy succulents that have been either stretching for light or maybe they're just losing too many leaves off the bottom of your succulent. So how do we take care of that? So first of all, I don't want to be holding this whole pot the whole time, so I take my my pruners and I get down here right close to the stalk where it connects to the soil, and I cut that off. So underneath that succulent I've got my stem that I just cut, plus a whole bunch of dried up crunchy leaves. And then as we progress up the plant, they're soggy to less soggy until you get to the top where you have a nice firm leaf. So first I'll just over top of my garbage can here, I'll throw away my pot and my stub, and I'll just break off all these leaves here. So I'm not interested in propagating any of these leaves. I just don't have the time for that. But after we break off a bunch of these leaves backwards, if I wanted to, we could be saving these leaves. So I would be taking these leaves off properly. So now at this point, I'm looking at the top of the plant, and I'm trying to make sure that he's just starts to even out around the outside so that it looks good the whole way. So these guys need to come off here. Maybe these guys and these guys need to come off. Maybe this guy down here needs to come off. Maybe a few more, just to make them nice and even. So here's my new succulent. I've got a big, long, ugly stem though, so I'm going to take my pruners and take it off to about a 1/2 inch. And so we've got this little nice rosette again. So we'll set this guy to the side and do the next one. So here's another succulent. It's gotten a little bit gross over time. Here's the top of that plant, so we'll throw away our tag. We'll ditch our pot and the root ball. And so now we've got our succulent with the stub. We'll do the same thing. About halfway up, we'll just reach in here and break off all these leaves. Now we'll take a look at the top and decide how we want it to look aesthetically. Maybe remove some of these guys here, maybe a few more, maybe these last 3 big ones maybe. Just like that. Maybe now they got a room to fan out. Nice little rosette. We'll cut that stub off. Set him to the side as well. Got a few more. This guy here, he's just been losing leaves. Every time somebody bumps him, he loses all these leaves here. So we'll come in here and take the bottom of the plant off. Now I will take off some of these bottom leaves here. These ones make a satisfying sound. And this one looks goofy, but we'll propagate it into something good. This one had a few little tiny babies growing here, so I think I'll save those guys. Ooh. Set him aside. There we go, I've got one more. Another really ugly guy. We have a lot of these that are really nice on the table, so there's no point in keeping one ugly one. It's just an eyesore. So we'll cut him off. Break these bottom leaves off. So we have our stem, the top of our rosette. I think I'll remove some of these big guys too. I think we'll leave them just like that. Alright, let's see if we can do some more. Okay, we got one more, so we will take these off too. There's another baby on this one, so we'll save that and we'll take him off as well. But let's see what we can do here. I'll take a bunch of these leaves off. I think we'll actually take quite a few of them. There's no point in hanging on to him. He'll live and he'll look cute again. Sorry, that noise is somebody pulling a garden hose by. There we go. Check that guy out. He's beautiful again. Now we'll remove the stub. Looks like I have the remains of a little leaf here, so we'll take that off. There we go. And looks like there's one more little guy on here, so we'll dig in here with our pruners too, and we'll take that off. And we're done with that pot. This guy doesn't need to change much, but there's a few here we'll take off. There we go. And I got one more example, this guy here. We did a video on a plant like this before. That was more about how to propagate. This one is just more about what to do when your plants just get gross and you really don't know what to do with them anymore. So we'll start at the top. We'll take the top rosette off. Still looks really nice. There we go. We've got our rosette, but she's right full of leaves. That gets in the way of trying to plant this guy in some soil. The leaves get in the way, so we pluck the bottom, I don't know, bottom ½ inch or so off. There we go. What do you guys think? Should I take a few more off maybe? I think I will. I'll take these ones off. There, we'll leave them like that. Take just a smidge off here. That's just preference. You can, I mean, if you had a container that was 1 inch deep, you could leave that whole stem on there. The whole thing would root out, but for our purposes here, we'll take it off. And I think there was a few more babies on here that we could probably salvage. This guy here, he's got a whole baby that's growing out of the soil down here, so take him off. And in the last video that was titled how to propagate, or how to prune / propagate succulents, there's a lot of people asking afterwards, do I have to use the rooting hormone? No, you don't have to use the rooting hormone. Succulents will root themselves usually within about 2 weeks. If you want to speed the process up, if you decide that you want to speed it up to be like a 1 week process or a 1.5 weeks, you can use the rooting hormone and it'll speed the process up a little bit. We use Root Boost here sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes if we know that a plant takes a really long time to root, then we'll use a rooting hormone. I use a rooting hormone on everything at home just because that's what I like to do at home. The other question was, how long do you keep them out of the sunlight? I had mentioned that when you take a cutting and you plant it into your soil, that you should keep it out of the sunlight for a while. I realized that I kind of rushed the end of the video and I didn't talk about that. So the whole reason you're doing that is because these plants, the only moisture that they have right now is the moisture that they have inside the leaves. They don't have a root system, so there's nowhere for this plant to pull water from at the moment. So it's relying entirely on the moisture that it has. So if you go put it into a high intensity heat or sun location where it's really warm, that plant's trying to use up the moisture that's inside the leaves to keep itself cool. So if you keep it out of the sun, the plant will actually maintain that moisture for like 6 months at a time. Like a cutting or a leaf can go 6 months before it'll ever rot. Some of them, some rot a little bit sooner. So I suggest keeping it out of the sun until it has roots. Once it has roots, then you can move it into the sun, because now it has a moisture supply. It has a water supply that it can tap into. But it helps, I find, giving them an opportunity to root without the sun beating down on them. So all I'm doing now is I'm just taking these the cuttings. Typically I would let them callus over. Usually that takes about 3 or 4 days. Then this edge will callus. Then you can plant that down into the soil. It really isn't necessary to let it callus. You can just plant it directly into the soil and it will root. But those are just tips that I've found that help speed the process up. So if you decide to callus it and then you decide to use Root Boost and then you decide to keep it out of the sun, those are all things that will help speed up the process. And so all I'm doing right now is taking these stalks here and I'm pushing them down into the soil until the soil touches the bottom of the leaves, and then leaving it there like that. And the last one here, the guy's a little bit funny. Who knows what he'll grow up to look like. So that's all the examples. So let's get the camera off the tripod here and show you what we have. Okay, so I had a whole bunch of really ugly succulents that were just overgrown. This guy here was just actually a leaf that was laying inside one of the containers. He had lots of roots and a little baby, so I kind of felt bad throwing him away. So I figured I'd plant him. We have all these rosettes here that we decided to keep. So they, as soon as they root out, they'll be a nice little 1.5 or 2 inch plugs. And then we'll be able to transplant them and sell them, and all of a sudden you have a pretty succulent again instead of an overgrown plant that no one wants to buy. And so another idea that you can do, this is a greenhouse application where we have a plug tray that we decide to plant them all in, and then later we'll transplant them and sell them just like that as an individual succulent. But another thing you can do is actually once you take your cuttings, and you can just replant them all together into a mixed container and let them root and let them grow together. And root them directly inside your container. So these guys here, none of these have a root system right now. They're all just succulents that I had pruned off of their main plant. We got some burro's tail, some pinwheel. None of these have any roots, so we'll leave them here like this and let them grow out into a really nice container. And it's one way to save plants that otherwise wouldn't have turned out. Let's see if we can save a nice plant here. There. I think that'll be pretty nice. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and if you guys want more tip videos, or if you have any questions that I didn't talk about or I glossed over, just leave them in the comments below. Also, if you like the video and you want more content like that, then just subscribe. That's probably the easiest way. Then you'll get a notification when we post more succulent propagation videos. Awesome. Thank you guys.